On the SEC Network, you could not ask for better weather here to close out the Easton Bama Bash in Tuscaloosa as Middle Tennessee faces the second-ranked, undefeated Alabama Crimson Tide. And we welcome you back to the booth alongside my All-American partner, Kate Brooks. I am Gray Robertson. Kira Goldstein will join us in just a bit. Kate, Alabama 4-0 here on the weekend. And one of the big storylines has been the effective defense behind the pitching.
Absolutely. The defense on Alabama's team has been so dynamic and instrumental in getting the momentum to change throughout the rest of the games. And it's a great day to play softball day, so I'm excited to see Alabama's defense bring it like they did yesterday.
We saw a whole novel of action against Virginia Tech in the top of the first, a little bit sloppy. Out came Patrick Murphy to get into the infield a bit, and after that, really sharp against the Hokies.
You really see that quick hands right there, getting the momentum to change a little bit on the defensive side. Pringy right here with that dynamic double play that just changed the complete tempo of the game. As you see Goodnight here making a great play, and Shipman tracking that ball and getting that out at home.
And then the double play pickle. Alabama's defense, a really big part of what this team has accomplished thus far. And for more on that, let's go down to Kira.
You said it. The defense this weekend has been lights out, and Patrick Murphy has to be pleased. The Tide lead the SEC with a .995 in fielding percentage, and they've only committed one error thus far this season, so a really great start for the Tide.
Thank you, Kira. Yeah, that error back in Tucson, a perfect fielding percentage here this weekend for the Crimson Tide. But a little bit of a defensive adjustment here today. We'll show you that later on as that defense tries to back up. Montana Fouts, the senior from Grayson, Kentucky, her third appearance here this weekend, two-time All-American, getting the start.
What you're going to see from Montana is she throws upper 60s, 70s even, and also has a great rise ball as well as a great drop ball and commands the zone. You'll see one of her most impressive stats is her strike to base on balls ratio. She has no walks on the season thus far and really just makes great pitching decisions overall.
25 Ks, 0 walks on the year. Opponents hitting 120 against the two-time All-American, last year's SEC co-pitcher of the year, the 2019 SEC freshman of the year. Honestly, there's not enough space on the board for all of the accomplishments that Montana Fouts has collected. And now facing her, a Blue Raiders offense trying to close out the Bama Bash strong, starting off with Amaya Harris. Kelsey Hill, the junior leader, batting the 2 spot. Amaya Harris had a pretty good at-bat against Fouts last night. Fouts came in to shut it down against the Blue Raiders, and Harris had a lengthy battle.
She did. She definitely took her time, watched some pitches go by, and tried getting her timing down, which is one of the most important keys to success against Montana because she throws so hard, is to get your timing and let some of the up stuff go.
Harris, a sophomore out of McDonough, Georgia. On the weekend, 2 for 11 with a couple trips on base and a run scored. Swing and a miss there. Strikeout for Fouts. 1 down. And here is the Alabama defense behind Fouts. As we mentioned, a couple changes for Patrick Murphy and the Crimson Tide. Grill in left today. Johnson getting the start in center. Woodard out in right. Prengy at third. Dowling at short. That left side of the infield has been secure all weekend. Callie Hevlin making her first career start at second. Kaylee Tao at first. And Allie Shipman behind the plate. You've seen Shipman a lot this weekend because Abby Dorr has an injury that allows her to hit but not catch. And we were told earlier today Aubrey Barnhart sustained an injury in game 1. She'll be day-to-day, but she can't catch the rest of the weekend, so Shipman has carried the load behind the plate. Did she go? No, she didn't. 2-0 count to Kelsey Hill, junior from Marietta, California. Preseason All-Conference USA this year, but it's gotten off to a tough start here in 2022. was hitting 182. Did go that time, 2-1. Fouled off, 2-2. Out to left and foul. Montana Founts has been so good in this event throughout her career. Exactly a 1.00 ERA in the Easton Bama Bash. 2-2. Full count. Kate, already I like the approach I'm seeing from the Blue Raiders, being very patient, not chasing very much.
Absolutely. They're really watching pitches. You see them back in the box, trying to see the ball as long as possible. And zone down. They're letting some of the up stuff go, so let's see if they continue to do that throughout the game and force Fouts to bring the ball a little bit more in the zone.
Prangy backs up, 2 away. The head coach for the Blue Raiders is Jeff Breeden, 10th season at Middle Tennessee. Conference USA Tournament champions in 2018. He said he was so excited for his team to get a chance to face tough competition to start the year. They traveled out to California in week 1, here in week 2, playing 2 top 10 teams, and he said it's events like this that get the Blue Raiders ready for Conference USA, and whether the results come or not, he knows that his team will be battle tested and ready once they enter league play.
Just great competition overall, and only helps prepare you throughout the rest of the season. If you can play here in this environment, imagine when you get to the end of the season and you're already in this environment. To get it in February is pretty remarkable.
0-2 to Laura Mealer, freshman from Chapel Hill, Tennessee, out of Forest High School. She has been the best bat this weekend for Middle Tennessee, 3 of 9 in the event with an RBI. One, 2. Middle Tennessee making Fouts work a bit. This is pitch 17 here in inning number 1. Swing and a miss. Fouts gets 2 strikeouts in the top of the first. Fouts looks as good as ever. We head to the bottom. Alabama bats coming up when we get back. Well, a machine-like top of the first inning from Montana Fouts, and now we'll see her counterpart for Middle Tennessee, the freshman from Manchester, Tennessee, Carrie Munn, getting the start against the Crimson Tide.
What what you're going to see from Munn is she doesn't throw necessarily as hard. However, she has a nice rise ball up in the zone, as well as that off-speed changeup.
Munn has the lone win here this weekend for Middle Tennessee. That was a victory to open up the Bama Bash against Evansville 4-2. Went full, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, and both were unearned. Facing Jenna Johnson to start. And as we talked about, obviously with the defense making some changes, so too does the lineup look a bit different. Prangy back up in the 2-hole. Lexi Kilfoyle batting cleanup today, and Callie Heavlin, Woodard, and Grill down in 7, 8, 9. Johnson, though, in that leadoff spot, as she has been all year long thus far, junior from Franklin, Tennessee. On the weekend, hitting .333, but with a .538 OBP. On the season, that OBP at .536. And as we've talked about in each broadcast, that's what Patrick Murphy wants, that leadoff hitter to be above 500 in on-base percentage. Fifth walk of the weekend and the year for Jenna Johnson, leadoff on. Defensive alignment for the Blue Raiders. Outfield Sargent, Hill, and Harris. Tchaikovsky over at third, Mueller at short, Rodriguez at second, Tate at first, and Hutchinson behind the plate. The DP today is Claire Woods. She can also pitch, so don't be surprised if we see her come in and get some innings at some point. Bunt shown from Prangy is foul. Ashley Prangy, the senior Ohio State transfer, currently the team leader in batting average at .450. Just hitting .250 this weekend with a couple RBIs, but a .500 on-base percentage here in the Bama Bash. Early, Kate, we've really seen both teams be pretty patient at the plate thus far.
Absolutely. I'm really curious to see how Alabama attacks each pitch, especially with a little bit slower, as they saw last night, if they're going to carry that win through this game as well with this newer pitcher.
Yeah, Alabama won at 8-0 in 5. It didn't look like we would get to that point. It was 1-0 through 4, but Alabama was 7 in the bottom of the 5th, closing it out on a game-ending error that allowed the 8th run to cross. Prangy, second team All-Big Ten in 2019. Career .303 hitter for Ohio State. Takes ball 3, full count. Payoff, hit to left. Off the top of the wall and out. They say softball's a game of inches. Well, Prangy had the right measurement there. 2-run homer here in the bottom of the 1st.
What you see from Munn is a slightly up in the zone rise ball that Prangy keeps her hands on top and extends up and out through that entire pitch and hits it up and over that left field wall. something with a rise ball is if it leave it just a little too far down, and with the lack of intense speed from Munn, Prangy has time to get her hands out and around that ball and hit it up and out over left field. What a great start for Alabama offense this bottom of the first inning.
One issue for Munn is giving up the long ball. That is the 4th home run she has surrendered here this season, and now facing Allie Shipman. And Shipman lifts this to left. Does it have enough? No, it does not. Sargent is there for out number 1. Well, a fast start for the Crimson Tide. I'm sure that is exactly what the doctor ordered for Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy, the Hall of Famer. 24th season here in Tuscaloosa. National champion back in 2012. 5-time SEC Coach of the Year. Has been really excited about this team. Knows the young pieces, if they can gel, this could be something special here this year. Called strike to Lexi Kilfoyle. Kilfoyle, the junior from Land O'Lakes, Florida. Getting a chance to hit here today. 1 of 4 on the season. That one was a solo homer against Arizona last weekend that quite possibly still has not landed yet. So smart of Munn to go off speed there on the 1-1.
It's always important to establish that pitch early in the game and throw the hitters off a little bit.
Lifted to left. Sargent on the run, and again, just in front of the wall for out number 2. I'll tell you what, Kate, Alabama showing off the power. Only one's left the yard, but they've sent a couple balls for a ride early.
Definitely making Sargent work out there a little bit early on. Doing a great job handling those high flyouts.
Now the 3-time All-American Kaylee Tao facing that young lady, Carrie Munn. Tao, the graduate from Madisonville, Kentucky, 2-time All-SEC. 1 for 5 here this weekend with a couple RBIs. That one was a double. To center, this could be trouble. It drops. And Kaylee Tao is aboard with a 2-out single.
Tao really does her job as the next leadoff once there's no one on base with 2 outs, just keeping that inning alive, keeping it going. Let's see what Dowling does with this 2-out rally they have going on.
Very talented sophomore, Bailey Dowling, out of St. Joseph, Illinois, number 2 recruit in the class of 2020, was injured last year with an ACL, and she hurt against Tennessee. Average-wise, has struggled a bit to start the year, hitting just 158. Looking for her second hit of the Bama Bash. She is 1 for 10 with an RBI and a triple. Good pitch from Munn, 2-1.
Munn's definitely mixing her speeds a bit. She has that changeup, but that looked more like an off speed. So for a pitcher to have 3 different speeds in their book is pretty effective. Let's see how Munn utilizes that.
Changeup, out to left. Single for Dowling, 2 on, 2 out.
Dowling does a great job keeping her hands back on that last pitch and just poking it right through that 5-6 hole. Doing exactly what her job is keep the inning alive, keep it going, move her runner over, and get on base is also a perk.
And now the first at-bat for Callie Hevlin as a starter. Freshman from Three Rivers, Michigan. Sky high on the first pitch. And coming to get it is Tate. She couldn't make the catch. Tao scores. Alabama's lead is 3-0 after the error.
Those are some of the toughest balls on the infield to field. It seems so simple with it being in the pitcher's circle, but that's just straight communication. We must communicate and track that ball. You always want to stay behind the ball and come through it, and that's what Tate kind of missed as she was going towards the ball, not coming into it to try and catch that.
Error charge to the first baseman for Middle Tennessee. And now Woodard lays down a bunt. It rolls foul. Also tough about that, Heveland swung so hard, it went out of our view. I can't imagine how high that went with the sun shining the way it is and still a little bit of wind here in Tuscaloosa.
Definitely not. It's one of the hardest plays in softball. That and a foul ball to the catcher is one of the hardest things to see and locate. So definitely not an easy out.
So after the error, Alabama can really pile it on here in the bottom of the first with Woodard, junior out of Warrior, Alabama. 2 for 7 this weekend. SEC all newcomer selection. So often last year it was Savannah Woodard at the plate with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Hits that one foul, 2-2.
You definitely see Munn's upspin a little bit on all these. That's why the ball is going so high in the airs. They're just slightly under that rise ball. In order to be effective, the Alabama hitters need to keep their hands on top of the ball and extend through that pitch.
This could be trouble as well. And making the catch is Mealer to end the inning. But Alabama gets on the board first, and it started with Ashley Prangy, a 2-run homer off the top of the wall. Alabama leads it 3-0 off to the second. Well, one last day of the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. LSU got the victory over Texas Tech. A tough week for the Texas schools. Texas and Texas Tech, a combined 0 for 11 at Clearwater. Valerie Cagle, a shutout victory over number 5 Washington. First loss for the Huskies this year. And tonight, I'll be watching 7 p.m. Eastern, UCLA Florida State on ESPN. If you love the sport, find a TV, turn that on. Great coverage for college softball and a great game with our friends Beth Mowens, Amanda Scarborough, and Michelle Smith on the call. Claire Tchaikovsky, freshman from right there in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and quickly strikes out against Fouts. 1 away. Now Mackenzie Hutchinson, Fouts. 3 strikeouts thus far on 21 pitches. Last 2 batters, Kate has really utilized that rise ball. To Mackenzie Hutchinson, sophomore out of Lakewood, California. Hutchinson 2 for 11 here in the Bama Bash. Oh, beautiful pitch from Fouts, 2-2. We've seen her work up, we've seen her work down. Fouts
doing a great job in bringing that ball lower in the zone. She's so known for her rise ball. To be able to use her other pitches to get those strikes is quite impressive.
Something Patrick Murphy told us last year, it is so rare to see a pitcher just as effective with the drop as she is with the rise. You can probably count on one hand the amount of hurlers who have been able to master both pitches, and Fouts really good with both of those. Payoff to Hutchinson. Got her again. 4 Ks for Montana Fouts. Monday night, our next SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to the Georgia Lady Bulldogs women's basketball program at a special time of 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Then it's a look at the number 2 ranked Auburn men's basketball team. You'll get never-before-seen footage and sound from players and coaches, only right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Auburn took a tough loss at Florida yesterday by 1. Still in line for a number 1 seed, one would think. March Madness coming up for both the men and the women. And then after that, we get ready for mayhem here in softball. Lonnie Rodriguez steps in. Rodriguez, a senior out of Covina, California. 1 for 6 in the bash with a walk. Went too far, 1-2.
You see Middle Tennessee State, this part of the lineup, chasing that rise a little bit more, and Montana going to it because she knows she can get it right past them.
Good job laying off that one, 2-2. We did see in the first inning, the first couple batters for the Blue Raiders had really good at-bats. They weren't chasing very much, but since then, as Fouts has mixed in the drop ball more, that rise has become even more effective. Another K. Fouts strikes out the side. She struck out 5 of the 6 she has faced. The All-American looking good early. Off to the bottom of the second. Tide still up 3-0. Alabama getting the start they want to close out the Easton Bama Bash. 3 runs in the first inning. We will see what the Tide can do as we head to the bottom of the second. 9-1-2 up against Carrie Munn. Munn gave up the 2-run homer, was not helped by an error on the first baseman, Danielle Tate. And now we'll see if she can come back strong here in the second inning. Keep the Blue Raiders within striking distance against the second-ranked team in the country. Munn will start against Kat Grill. Sophomore right here from Tuscaloosa, American Christian Academy. Just a bit down the road, lays down a bunt. The throw to first is not in time. Bunt single from Grill, leadoff on.
Grill does a great job being aggressive with the small ball, something we haven't seen Alabama do too much this weekend, really mixing it up and forcing those infielders to crash in unexpectedly.
And already the first change of the day for Patrick Murphy. Dallas Goodnight will get a chance. We've seen her start some this weekend. Regular starter in week 1. The freshman hits the first pitch foul on the run and just out of reach for Mueller. Dallas Goodnight hitting for Jenna Johnson. Goodnight, the freshman, top 5 recruit in the extra inning softball rankings for the class of 2021. Is 3 for 9 here this weekend with an RBI, but struggled against Virginia Tech on Friday.
Also made that great play in center field, throwing the runner out at home against Virginia Tech.
Bunts that one foul. Yeah, defense has not been the problem, although she did lose that one fly ball out in center field against the Hokies, but was only 1 for 4 against Middle Tennessee last night with an RBI. Ended the ball game when the last pitch went off her bat and was fumbled by Tchaikovsky over at third. That error allowed the game-ending run to score. Just missed, 1-2.
What's interesting is you see Middle Tennessee State's defense is a little back on good night, so I'm curious to see what she's going to do while seeing the defense further back on the diamond.
Slap back up the middle. Mealer's got it, no play. Slight hesitation as Mealer thought about going to second, and that proves costly. 2 on, nobody out.
Goodnight does a great job keeping that ball on the ground to advance her runner over to second. And as you say, when there is speed on the bases, it makes it just that much tougher as a defense to make those plays because there is another factor in the rotation.
And speed on base for Ashley Prangy, who's already hit one out today. Let's go to Kira.
Yeah, great. 2 of the biggest impact players for the Crimson Tide offense have been the 2 senior transfers, Allie Shipman from Tennessee and Ashley Prangy, who's up right now from Ohio State. Prangy, she just hit a home run in the bottom of the first. And Allie Shipman has had 2 on the weekend. She had 1 on Friday and 1 on Saturday. I think she's probably due up for another one in this game. What do you think, Greg?
Perhaps. She is on deck as both runners advance. On the pitching miscue. So now 2 in scoring position. Yeah, Alabama had 10 home runs on opening weekend. They've had 3 thus far here in the Bama Bash, all coming from those transfers, Shipman and Prangy. That's the world we live in now, the portal, a big part of collegiate sports. And the SEC doing away with the rule that you have to sit out a year to transfer within the conference. That's why Shipman able to play this season. So many impact transfers across the entire nation in this sport. 3-1. And Kate, I don't think that's changing anytime soon. With the way the sport is right now and the way the portal is, we're just gonna keep seeing people roll into new programs every single year.
Definitely. Not only that, but you see girls now being able to play without that pause and just continue their success in these other programs and make those other programs stronger, and it just makes softball all around stronger.
Payoff to Prangy is low, ball 4, bases loaded. And here is Allie Shipman, Tennessee transfer. What a weekend she has had. 5 of 11 with 7 RBIs. Entered the day tied for the top in the SEC in runs batted in. And we've talked about it all weekend. I went back and looked. All time at Rhodes, both for Alabama and Tennessee, entered the day hitting 400 with 10 RBIs. She'll add some more. That's out to left. Grill scores. Here comes Goodnight. Alabama's lead is 5-0 after Allie Shipman drives in a pair with a single.
We talked to Shipman last night. She told us her whole game plan is to be aggressive, and she does just that. You see a lot of first pitch aggressive hacks, and she knocks that right through the 5-6 hole, attacking that outside curveball from Munn. You can see Munn leaves it just a little too high. Shipman gets extended early and gets around that ball, hits it down the 5-6 hole.
Give Allie Shipman 9 RBI here this weekend. And that'll lead to a change in the circle for the Blue Raiders. We'll let you know who it is when we get back. Alabama up 5-0. Nobody out, 2 on here in the bottom of the second. Well, Middle Tennessee has to make a change in the circle, and going back to somebody Alabama's seen before, it is Gretchen Mead, the senior from Kingwood, Texas.
What you're going to see from Mead is she has that up spin and keeps the ball on the outside part of the plate to righties with that curve ball.
Went 3 1/3 last night as a starter against the Crimson Tide. 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned. 4 walks and 1 strikeout. Got lifted in the 5th, and then Alabama busted the game open. She starts against Lexi Kilfoyle, who is 0 for 1.
We saw Mead struggle a little bit with that consistency and that control. You see Munn there. Pulled her out. But Mead really, yesterday, what we noticed from her, she kind of kept the ball all over the place, making it tough for the Alabama hitters to track those good pitches and really go for those. So we'll see if she zones in a little bit more today and hits her spots a little bit better.
And we talked about it on the broadcast. Effectively wild in the first 4 innings, but in the 5th inning, the effectiveness kind of went away, and it was just a wild pitching performance all over the zone. But sometimes that can be even tougher to hit than somebody who's pounding it in the strike zone.
It just requires a lot of patience at the plate, waiting for your pitch. Also going up to the plate with a plan. You know what she's going to throw. You wait and you be patient and you see the pitch and you attack it. That's what makes it so difficult, is when you don't get as many good pitches, you have to be pretty selective and be on top of it when you do get that one great pitch.
Right now the plan for Lexi Kilfoyle seems to be just wait until a strike comes. 3-0 count. Ball 4.
And you see me just missing slightly outside. She's probably going to zone in a little bit, bring that ball a little bit more on the plate to establish that outside corner, which is her goal. And that's a lot of her game, is that curve ball. So once she zones it in a little bit, brings it a little bit more on the plate, she'll probably find a little bit more success on the mound.
So bases loaded, nobody out. Alabama has a chance to really bust it open. And as you see the pinch runner, McKay Gidley out of Tuscaloosa, the sophomore, coming in for Kilfoyle at first. And a chance for Kaylee Tao, who is 1 for 1. She singled and scored back in the first. Kaylee Tao last year hit a home run on her birthday. Today it is her mom's birthday. See what happens in her second at-bat of the game. Tao with 4 hits this year and 5 RBIs. She has made it count to start the season. Too far there, 1-1. Prangy at third, Shipman at second, Gidley, the pinch runner, over at first. Outside.
You see Mead attacking with that screwball. She got a strike. When you establish a strike, you're able to move slightly more outside, a little unsuccessful, but it also diverts the hitter's eyes, and maybe she brings it back in. We'll see what she does next with this 2-1 count.
Fouled back. There you see Prangy at third. Shipman at second. Gidley over there at first. Kaylee Tao at the plate. Full count. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Middle Tennessee must limit the damage here if they want to stay in this game. Foul.
This is one of the toughest positions as a pitcher to be in. Bases loaded, less than 2 outs, full count. I mean, great preparation for the rest of the season. This is a great opportunity to show what you've got and to prove to yourself you can do it, you know? And if it doesn't happen, you'll get the next one.
That's a walk. And Tao drives in the run with the base on balls. 6-0 Crimson Tide. So now Bailey Dowling. Dowling singled back in the first. And Mead really struggling to find the strike zone here. That was her 12th pitch and only 3 strikes thus far.
You see her really staying away from these Alabama hitters. It's her job now. That ball is just 1 to 2 inches off the plate. Again, 1 inch down when you're pitching the ball is almost a foot out here. So it's really a game of inches as well as almost centimeters when it comes to the pitching mechanics. So she just has to make some slight adjustments on her release point in order to track that ball a little bit more in the strike zone and get a couple more strikes under her belt.
Perhaps sensing a theme today. Corinna Dodd warming up for Middle Tennessee. See how quick the hook is for Gretchen Mead. 1-1 to Dowling. To third, the throw home is in time for out number 1.
You see Mead go with her off speed on that last pitch. Again, maybe that's something she needs to go towards a little bit more to get that ball a little bit more on the plate and get those outs. It's tough to hit a changeup, especially when you don't throw as hard. That's a pretty slow changeup for these Alabama hitters. Might throw them off a little bit and help Middle Tennessee State get those outs. Hard balls on the ground, make the plays, get outs.
Nice job by Tchaikovsky as well. No hesitation. The throw immediately to home. Base is still loaded for Callie Hevlin. Hevlin reached on an error back in the first that allowed a run to score. A lot of power in this bat. She's the Michigan single-season home run record holder for high school out of Three Rivers High School. Last year's Gatorade Player of the Year up in Michigan. A lot of potential in her swing. And great experience for her as well, making her first career start, getting extended chances over at second and here in the batting order. Big cut. She was looking for the power. 2-1.
The Alabama offense right now has such a great opportunity to really pick out their pitch, be patient, wait for it. You know Mead is probably going to throw it on the outside part of the plate, so find a pitch that's slightly up in the zone that you can lift.
3-1. Full count. Good job by Mead coming back and getting the swing and a miss right there.
That's what she's looking to do. Just start to build her confidence on the mound in this game, in this inning. Establish that pitch, as that's one of her go-to pitches, that curveball outside.
Swing and a miss. Big time strikeout from Gretchen Mead. 2 gone.
You see that outside low rise ball breaking up in the zone. She does a great job keeping that ball out of the zone, but in the zone enough to make it look big and have her take that big cut for the strikeout.
Well, stop me if you've heard this before. 2 outs, runners in scoring position for Savannah Woodard. First pitch high for ball 1. In the first inning, she was up with runners on second and third, popped out to short. Now a chance with the bases loaded here in the second. Woodard to short. Mueller is there to end the inning, but Alabama gets 3 more. And the Tide leads it 6-0 through 2 in Tuscaloosa. (6-0) Alabama through 2 here on the last day of the Easton Bama Bash in front of a really good crowd here at Rhodes. You see the lines for the starters. Carrie Munn only survived an inning, giving up 6 runs on 6 hits, couple walks. Montana Fouts, pretty much the exact opposite. 2 innings, 5 strikeouts, and nothing else on the board for the All-American. Now facing the bottom of the Blue Raiders order, Claire Woods, Danielle Tate, Shelby Sargent. Strike 1 to Claire Woods. Woods, the freshman from Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, out of Summertown High School. 0 for 3 on the weekend. And 0 for 3 on the season, looking for the first hit of her collegiate career. That won't help. 0-2. Got her on the rise, and Fouts has strikeout number 6. Monday night at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and ESPN app. We'll have a 3.5-hour recap of this year's men's and women's swimming and diving championships. Florida Gators have won the last 9 titles on the men's side, while the Kentucky Wildcats are the defending champs on the women's side. That coming up Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the SEC Network. Fouts gets the swing from Danielle Tate. Tate, the sophomore from Snellville, Georgia. Tate 0 for 3 here in the Bama Bash. Looking for her first hit of the season, 0 for 12 thus far. Quickly 1-2. Full count.
Lacey Tate being really patient at the plate, especially with 2 strikes. That type of composure is so important as a hitter. You want to remain calm, especially against someone who throws as hard and as consistent as Fouts does. Her goal right now is to stay short to the ball, stay on top of it, and try and extend through that pitch.
Looking to reach base for the first time this year. Stays alive, does Tate. What a day we have here in Tuscaloosa. I see 1 or 2 wispy clouds off to left. Otherwise, bright blue sky, sunny, wind blowing out.
Perfect weather for softball, especially in February.
I was about to say, are you telling me it's only week 2? Another K. Fouts has 7. 2 down. Defensive changes for the Crimson Tide. Dallas Goodnight now out in center for Johnson. So the freshman back out where she has patrolled most of the year thus far. Grill still there in left. Woodard out in right. Jenna Lord now in to play second. And Callie Hevlin has moved to short for Dowling. Prangy and Tao still operating on the corners. Shelby Sargent bunts it foul. Sargent, another local product, sophomore out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. 0 for 8 here in the Bama Bash with a strikeout and a run scored. Just 1 of 18 here in 2022. One, two.
We're really seeing Fouts change her pitching approach a little bit. You're seeing her mix in more of her lower pitches, like her horizontal curve and screw, as she's mixing those into her pitching rotation. Just showing off how deep her pitches go. She's not just a one-pitch pitcher. She can throw the rise, drop, off speed, as well as establish her screwball and her curveball. Just bringing so much more dynamic ability to her pitching and showing it off today.
Yeah, the toolbox is big for Montana Fouts. So many awards, 2-time All-Women's College World Series team. Had that perfect game last year in OKC against UCLA. She is a senior, does have 2 more years of collegiate eligibility with that COVID year coming into effect. Still working through that across the country. Full count. Well, Fouts also entered the day 6th in the SEC in strikeouts. I bet she moves up. That's number 8 here today against 9 batters faced. Off to the bottom of the 3rd, 6-0 Crimson Tide. 40 years of magic and mayhem at the Women's College World Series. Debbie Doom won the title in '82. UCLA won it again in '92. Jocelyn Forrest, one of the best, got Cal to the title in '02. Courtney Deifel on that team as well, the Arkansas head coach. And Alabama won it a decade ago in 2012. What will happen here in 2022? Coverage begins when mayhem starts. Just a couple months away, but it'll fly by, folks. As we take a look at last year in the SEC, Arkansas claimed their first SEC regular season championship, co-champions with the Florida Gators. Montana Fouts threw that perfect game in OKC against UCLA, as we mentioned. And Missouri led the SEC in runs, OBP, and RBI, although perhaps a bit of an issue offensively here to start this year. Missouri earlier today had a no-hitter being thrown by their pitcher, Jordan Weber, going into the 6th inning. It was broken against Maryland, and then the Terps walked off the Tigers 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th down in Florida. We have not seen nearly as many upsets as we saw in the shortened 2020 season, but thus far, here to begin 2022, a couple ranked teams have gone down to unranked foes, which is part of what makes softball so fun here in the non-conference. 0-1 to Kat Grill. Grill had that beautiful bunt single back in the 2nd. Did come around to score. Chop to 2nd. The throw to 1st, just in time from Rodriguez for out number 1.
Rodriguez does such a great job getting rid of that ball, especially with Grill's speed. You have such little time to get that ball from the glove, out of the hand, and to first base. You can see Grill does a great job getting that ball high in the air, but that second baseman makes that quick transfer and throws her out.
First time the leadoff has been retired by Middle Tennessee. And now back to the top of the order with Dallas Goodnight. Wind now blowing sharply out here at Rhodes. That won't affect this play. Tate to first. Got her.
You see Tate crashing hard on that. Look how quick her transfers. Boom. Right out of the hand. Definitely a close play at first.
Looks like she might have gotten there in time. Replay is coming to conference play and the NCAA tournament. Not in effect here in the non-con. That would probably be a play we'd take a look at in an SEC situation.
Here's another look. Foot down. Looks like she was safe on that play. Again, we're looking at it at such a slow rate. In the moment, definitely tough to see as an umpire.
But it's calls like that and so many others we've seen over the years that have had folks, fans, coaches, players clamoring for replay, and now it's here. We'll see it later on in the regular season. Everyone's main goal is to just make sure that the call is right. That's what the fans want, the coaches want, the umpires want. Called strike to Prangy. Prangy has had a good day. 2-run homer in the 1st, walked and scored in the 2nd.
You could say she's having a great day. Absolutely. Great weather, great day. Let's see what she does next in this at-bat.
Facing Gretchen Mead, who has come in and not allowed a hit in relief. 2-2. Payoff to Prangy. Right back to the circle. Mead adjusts her face mask and then fires to first in time for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Off to the 4th. Alabama still up 6-0. Another beautiful day in Tuscaloosa as we head to the 4th. Alabama up 6-0 on Middle Tennessee. Pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Patrick Murphy. Coach, we have seen so much production this weekend from Allie Shipman and Ashley Prangy. Talk about the impact those 2 transfers have had on this program.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You know, the byproduct of having 2 Power 5 transfers who played 3 years is also the leadership. Just the experience of being in the Big Ten and obviously the SEC with Allie. But both of them are just playing free and easy. And if you're a young lady or a gentleman out there that plays baseball, watching them play, there's no ego, there's no pressure. It's just, let's play ball. And both of them have done that since day one when they stepped on campus.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks a lot.
That's Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy. Talking about the transfers, they have been impactful. There's Ashley Prangy, Allie Shipman. Prangy coming from Ohio State, Shipman coming from Tennessee, and as Coach Murphy talked about the leadership aspect, that was something he mentioned on the call this week. How you've got Kaylee Tao, who is the lone quote-unquote senior in her final year of eligibility, providing leadership, but also Shipman, Prangy, and Montana Fouts.
Something I love that Coach Murphy talked about with us earlier this week is how each girl on this team has their own individuality and they celebrate their individuality, and that's what makes this team such a fun team to coach and to play with. I remember talking to Allie Shipman and she said that this team is just fun, and I think that's kind of the theme of the season.
Yeah, earlier this week I was chatting with Megan Bloodworth and she said, we're all just weird, but we're weird together. And this is a team that is built on chemistry. That's something Patrick Murphy has talked about since the start of the season. It has shown through. Just look at the reaction from the dugout in yesterday's game against Virginia Tech. Amaya Harris at the plate. Strikeout victim in the first. Fouts has faced the minimum thus far with 8 Ks against the Blue Raiders. But Harris has proven pesky thus far for the All-American. Last night, Harris had a pretty good at-bat against Fouts, and earlier today, worked a 6-pitch at-bat.
You can see her take that deep breath, part of her routine, something to mention in softball. Everyone has a routine. You stick to it. It's what you know. It helps keep your composure in the box, on the field, on the mound, wherever you are. Always follow that routine. Keeps you center and focused on the next play, next pitch.
Full count in the battle between Fouts and Harris. That's low, and that is a story. Ball 4 from Fouts, the first walk she has surrendered here in 2022. Let's go to Kira with more on the chemistry and leadership at Alabama. Kira?
Gray, you and Kate mentioned the individuality of this team and the way that they mesh together. Coach Murphy has brought in people to talk to the team, just get the team hyped, get them unified. And former player Olivia Gibson was one of those people. She talked about celebrating the differences of each person, finding the joy in each other's successes. And it's been really important for this team to mesh together like that. So bringing in speakers has been vital to them finding their rhythm as a team.
And also, Nick Saban speaking with Team 26 the other night. That was on Thursday. I'm sure Nick Saban has some pretty solid advice about success athletically.
You might know something about that, leading the Alabama football team to lots of success.
Oh, yes. Many championships here in Tuscaloosa for Nick Saban. Patrick Murphy trying to get another one for the softball program this year on the 10th anniversary of when the Tide danced in the rain against the Oklahoma Sooners. There you see 2012 national champions out there flying. Our colleague at ESPN, Caleb Rowe, on that team as well. Jackie Traina out on the wall. The J Train led the Crimson Tide to that wonderful, exciting, thrilling Champ Series victory over the Oklahoma Sooners back in 2012. And not just in the circle, had some critical hits as well. 1-2 to Kelsey Hill. Another strikeout for Fouts. She's got 9.
You can really see Montana staying on that screwball, keeping that ball low. Most would expect that to be a rise ball, but again, in her toolbox, she has that screwball. She keeps it off the plate, especially ahead in the count. You don't want that ball to be too far on the plate, and she does a great job placing that.
So after surrendering her first walk of the season, comes back with a K and a first pitch strike to Mealer. Mealer struck out in the first. Well hit out to right. Woodard on the run, and that's a foul ball by maybe an inch or two.
Take another look here. Just foul to the right of the line.
It's been the theme, game of inches. Off speed for a ball, 1-2. Did not go. That's in there. Got her looking. The third time Montana Fouts has started and reached double-digit strikeouts. Nicely done here.
You see her keep that rise still in the zone. One of the toughest pitches to pitch is that low rise ball. You see Montana, normally her rise ball goes a little bit higher out of the zone. Them being a little bit more patient forces her to bring it a little bit more down in the zone and really get that for a strike.
Just to clarify, Fouts has started 3 games and reached double-digit Ks in all 3. And now Patrick Murphy out chatting with his infield as Middle Tennessee prepares for what looks like a pinch hitter. And what an impressive comeback from Fouts. She walks a batter for the first time this season, 2 straight Ks right after.
That's exactly what you're looking to do as a pitcher. You give one up, that's okay. You take on the next one, and you get the job done in the circle. And that's exactly what she's done with those past 2 strikeouts.
And now Jeff Breeden giving a chance to the freshman from Trussville, Alabama, Anise Harvey. This is her first career at-bat. So we talked about Middle Tennessee hoping to grow and learn from weekends like this. Here's a learning chance for the freshman. Not exactly the easiest first course against Montana Fouts.
So many great things you can learn from these games, and playing against someone like Montana, she's one of the best in the nation. To be able to have these opportunities to see a pitcher like her with a repertoire as deep as hers is, prepares you so well for any other pitcher you're going to see throughout the season.
Just missed. Harvey gets a piece. Back to Fouts. Fielding well, firing to first. Side retired. After the walk, Montana ends it with a strikeout, and a ground out. Off to the bottom of the 4th here in Tuscaloosa. Off to the bottom of the 4th, Alabama 6, Middle Tennessee 0. Joined now by the head coach of the Blue Raiders, Jeff Breeden. Coach, you said on our calls this week how important it was for your team to play in events like this against such tough competition. What takeaways do you hope your team has going forward into the rest of the year from playing in this event?
Well, the main thing is these fans in Alabama are awesome. I mean, we're at a full house yesterday and today. And, if we're fortunate enough to win our conference tournament, we're going to be in the NCAA tournament and get sent to a place like this. So, the fact that we're here now, maybe it won't be a culture shock to us if we're fortunate enough to do that in May.
Thank you, Coach. Good to chat with you.
Thank you.
As Middle Tennessee head coach Jeff Breeden. A weekend that, while results-wise, probably not what the Blue Raiders want, they have learned a lot facing Virginia Tech, Evansville, and Alabama. 3 teams that had either All-American pitchers or pitchers who were their conference hurlers of the week to open the season. 3-4-5 due up for the Crimson Tide. Shipman will lead off. Allie Shipman flew out in the first. 2 RBI single in the second. What a weekend she has had. Batting average of 500 here in the Bama Bash. 9 RBIs. She entered the day tied for the SEC lead in runs batted in. I have to assume she is still around there with the 2 she has added in today.
One thing I love about Allie Shipman is she executes her approach. She told us yesterday after the game interview, she told us her approach to hitting is just be aggressive, and that's exactly what she's done today. This at-bat, she's a little bit more patient, not as many balls in the zone so far, but overall, as a hitter, she's just been an aggressive hitter, getting it done and executing for the Bama team.
Yeah, one of the themes of the year for Shipman was first pitch swinging. Had that home run against Virginia Tech on the first pitch, but also has done a nice job of adjusting when facing a pitcher that's a little wilder, not chasing early in the count. And like you said, we're seeing that right here against Gretchen Mead. (3-0). Low, ball 4. Shipman takes the walk. Let's go to Kira.
Coach Breeden mentioned the energy. I know Patrick Murphy is super excited to have all these fans back here. It's a beautiful sunny day of softball, and all these fans are excited and ready to watch the Tide take on Middle Tennessee State.
What a weekend here at Rhodes. A sellout on Saturday, and boy, was it hopping. If you've seen the videos traveling around online, listen to the crowd noise for the 5 or 6 seconds after I stopped talking when Shipman hit her home run. This place was jumping up and down. First pitch to Kilfoyle is fouled back, 0-1. And as we talked about, Kate, you know, big-time softball here in week 2. We've seen the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. Those crowds have been great. And here in Tuscaloosa, you've got a top 10 matchup on campus for one of those teams. And the fans showed up in February, which just shows the growth of this sport across the country.
Absolutely. The fans have been here through the cold. Now it's a little warmer today. Beautiful day out. What a Sunday. They always call it Championship Sunday, and that's what we're getting today is people out. What a great time to just practice and get better on a Sunday.
Yeah, championship weather here in T-Town. So glad you're tuning in for the final game of the Easton Bama Bash. Gray Robertson, Kate Brooks, Kira Goldstein down below. Folks also out there in the Brickyard, bring your own chairs, blankets, whatever you need. Kilfoyle goes after that one. 1-2. Lexi flew out in the first, walked in the second. Patrick Murphy has talked about Kilfoyle's hitting, said he asked her in the offseason, do you want to keep hitting? And she said, yes, absolutely. To short, Mealer for 1, the turn, not in time. Fielder's choice retires Shipman, 1 away. Monday night, our next SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to the Georgia Lady Bulldogs women's basketball program at a special time of 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Then it's a look at the number 2 ranked Auburn men's basketball team. You'll get never-before-seen footage and sound from players and coaches only right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. So a runner in for Kilfoyle. That's Jordan Stevens. And a pinch hitter upcoming for the Crimson Tide. It'll be Abby Dorr. There you see Stevens, the freshman from Tampa, Florida. And there's Dorr, junior from Eugene, Oregon. 2 for 8 thus far this weekend with a couple RBIs. Had the clutch one in Game 1 against Virginia Tech, that 1-0 victory over the Hokies. Fouled off. Abby Dorr, such an interesting story. In 2020, she got cleared to join the team the second weekend of the season, had 1 indoor practice before flying with Alabama to Clearwater for the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. 1 practice there, and then got the start against Liberty, and her second time around in the order, hit a home run out to right. Dorr, one of those players Patrick Murphy has talked about making a big improvement from last year to this year. Really impressive. in the fall for Alabama. That's off in the bullpen, 2-2. And Kate, we've also seen Patrick Murphy really do a nice job making sure everybody gets a chance to run, play somewhere in the field, get an at-bat, giving all these youngsters chances here at home on their first home series weekend.
I'd love to see that because it just only makes everyone better. Getting that exposure, getting that playing time. When you have the opportunity.
There's one, chance for two, got her. Well, nicely done by Mealer to turn two, essentially on her own. Middle Tennessee gets out of it with the twin killing from Laura Mealer. And we go to the fifth, 6-0 Crimson Tide. Alabama leading Middle Tennessee 6-0, going to the fifth inning, 5-6-7 due up for the Blue Raiders, who are certainly playing for a lot more this weekend than just their record. And for more on that, let's check in with Kira.
Middle Tennessee State has been wearing these stickers on the back of their helmet. If you notice, they say DH. That stands for Dean Hayes. He was a legendary track coach at MTSU for 57 years. He passed away just a few weeks ago in early January. And when I asked Coach Breeden about what he meant to the university, he said he was so legendary. He was a huge part of the culture, and they're really proud that they could honor him with this sticker on their helmet all season.
And thank you, Kira. Really cool. A legend up at Middle Tennessee, Dean Hayes. I think it's one of the greatest things about college sports when you've got coaches who stay at a place for so long, 57 years at one job. It's outside to pinch hitter Abby Shoulders out of Lafayette, Tennessee. Shoulders has gone 1 for 6 with a couple RBIs here this weekend. 444 OBP in the Bama Bash. But Fouts makes quick work. That's 11 strikeouts. Montana Fouts, only one career solo no-hitter. That was against UCLA in the perfect game back in the World Series. Was a part of a combined no-no against Alabama State in the first game of the 2021 season. We talked about it earlier, though. Something about the Bama Bash entered the day with a ERA of 1.00 in this event all time. And we have seen, Kate, just every pitch be on point for the All-American.
Coach Murphy talked about how well she commands the zone, and that's exactly what you're going to see from her today. Throughout the rest of the season, she trusts her pitches. She owns it. She throws so hard that she is able to really just get her pitches into the zone so fast. It makes it so much harder for hitters to be on top of. Not only with her speed, she also has great spin. So when you have that combination, that's what makes her so effective on the mound in the circle for Alabama.
Behind 3-1 here against Lonnie Rodriguez.
Also testament to Middle Tennessee State having that patience, making Fouts bring the ball in the zone more often.
Foul. Yeah, Middle Tennessee has not gone quietly. Fouts with 81 pitches right now. Compare that to the performance against Virginia Tech on Friday, in which she threw 84. So the Blue Raiders have had some lengthy battles with the reigning co-pitcher of the year in the SEC. Payoff. Fouts gets another one. Shipman will finish it off. 2 away. Monday night at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. We'll have a 3.5-hour recap of this year's men's and women's swimming and diving championships. The Florida Gators have won the last 9 titles on the men's side, while the Kentucky Wildcats are the defending champs on the women's side. It's coming up Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time on the SEC Network. Claire Woods, strikeout victim back in the third. Fouls that off. Touch low, 1-1. Fouts now with 12 strikeouts. The 1 walk means that strikeout to walk ratio is 37-1 at this point.
That's a testament to Middle Tennessee State's ability to be patient at the plate. Not only that, but they take their learnings from yesterday's game and throughout watching them all weekend and applying it to today. Once you lay off the high pitch, you're able to make her bring it down and get something a little bit more in the zone for you to extend on. They haven't necessarily gotten able to get through extension on those swings, but they're definitely making Montana throw a few more pitches, lengthening their at-bats.
It seems like a small thing, but it really is a big deal to draw a walk on Fouts. Her freshman year, she didn't have a walk until the 3rd weekend of the season. 2-2. Out to center. Goodnight is there. Inning over. Off to the bottom of the 5th. Fouts keeping it rolling. Tide still up 6-0.
Alabama leads 6-0 here at Rhodes House. Looking down into the MTSU dugout, Summer Burgess was the former standout shortstop. She has now joined the team as one of their coaches. She's helping mentor the young people, especially in that shortstop spot. Taking over, she knows what the program is all about, and she's really helped to cultivate a strong team bond on this team.
Yeah, thanks, Kira. Summer Burgess, Coach Breeden was telling us, started every single game and played almost every single play of her collegiate career, was pulled in 1 inning, and that was it. A staple of the Blue Raiders program, and now mentoring Mealer over at short. Glad you're with us here at Rhodes in Tuscaloosa. 6-0 Alabama. One of the stories as this game has progressed has been Gretchen Mead out of the pen. No hits allowed in her 3 innings of relief work. 3 walks, 1 strikeout. And that changes there. Jenna Lord, leadoff single right up the middle. And so that does mean Callie Hevlin, who will step in, is the game-ending run. The run rule, 8 runs or more after 5 innings. Alabama got the 8-0 run rule win yesterday. Hevlin 0 for 2, reached on an error in the first, struck out in the second. Still looking for her first collegiate base hit, does have an RBI. Hevlin to left on a rope and caught by Sargent. Well, if you want to stay up to date on all things around the country, you know where to go. The 7 Innings Podcast. Subscribe on the ESPN app, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow them on Twitter, The Gram, BMO, Michelle Smith, Amanda Scarborough, Kayla Bro, Jenny Dalton-Hill, Madison Shipman. The whole gang talked this week about what to expect this year. Next week's episode, I'm sure, will be all about what happened in Clearwater, plus a mention or two about the action here in Tuscaloosa, as well as elsewhere around the country, as KJ Haney steps in to pinch hit in the 8th spot. Sophomore out of Douglasville, Georgia. Haney 0 for 1 on the year, does have a walk that came earlier in the Bama Bash against Evansville. (2-0). And just like we talked about earlier, Patrick Murphy giving players chances early in the season to gain confidence at the plate.
It's so helpful when you're able to see some pitches in live action, right? You get a ton of it in practice, but in a game situation, it's just so different from practice. And getting these reps in now is so crucial later in the season.
Haney chases the off speed, 2-2.
You definitely see Meade going to her changeup as a go-to pitch when she's behind in the count, establishing that pitch, throwing the timing off slightly for the Alabama hitters, and that's exactly what a changeup is there to do. It's there to throw the timing off and set up your next pitch.
2-2. Swing and a miss.
3 in a row for Meade.
You rarely see it, but it worked for Gretchen Meade. 2 gone.
Meade does a great job keeping this pitch off the plate as well as breaking down. Great spot when you're 2-2 in the count.
Now the 9-hitter, Kat Grill. Grill is 1 for 2, singled and scored in the second. A ground out in the third that was well handled by Rodriguez at second. Yeah, Meade has been almost exactly like she was last night. 55 pitches now, only 28 strikes, but 3 2/3 of relief. Only the 1 hit, 3 walks, couple Ks.
As the season progresses, Meade is going to look to hone in on those pitches early, establish that zone a little bit earlier, and get strikes in the count under her belt. So she's able to break away from that and throw her stuff a little bit off the plate and start to get more swings and misses.
Called strike. 1-2. Top of the order. Due up next. There's Dallas Goodnight in the on-deck circle. There goes Lord. The throw not in time. And Jenna Lord has the stolen base. Her first in her Alabama career. Foul. Alabama 1 for 6 today with runners in scoring position. Chance here for Cat Grill with Lord on second. Grill hit well to right, and Harris makes the catch on the run to retire the side. Could have been trouble, but Amaya Harris makes the snag, and we go to the 6th. Tide still up 6-0. Six-run lead for Alabama as we head to the 6th against Middle Tennessee. Last day of the Easton Bama Bash in Tuscaloosa, and we welcome you back to the booth. Gray Robertson, my All-American partner, Kate Brooks. Kate, Montana Fouts, Montana Fouts, Montana Fouts. She has been the story this weekend, and she is working some magic here today against the Blue Raiders.
Absolutely. Coach Murphy talks about how she commands the zone so well, and that's exactly what we're seeing. We saw one walk, however, she came back and struck him out. So, I mean, she's doing what she does best, mixing in all of her pitches today, which we're getting a great look at all day today.
Ashley Prangy got it started in the first inning with a 2-run homer. Allie Shipman had 2 more runs batted in. She's got 9 on the weekend. For Middle Tennessee, Gretchen Mead has been really solid in relief, and she was the starter last night. That just goes to show how well she has pitched against Alabama, that she was able to come back the next day.
It's also important to note, Mead doesn't throw as hard, right? So the Alabama offense is having to really supply their own power. When you face someone that throws a little bit harder, it kind of works for your advantage as a hitter if you're able to connect, and that's something that the Alabama offense is looking to do in the later half of this game, is start to connect on those pitches and get their power going.
Middle Tennessee trying to connect as well, going to a pinch hitter here in the 6th. Kaylee Ricchetto, junior from Mount Juliet, Tennessee. 0 for 6 here in the Bama Bash with an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout. Tough weekend for the Blue Raiders. Won their first game against Evansville 4-2. Sprangy has that. Throw to first, 1 down. Next week, the second game of our Wednesday night men's basketball doubleheader features Jabari Smith and number 2 Auburn. They'll host Ole Miss at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central after Mississippi State, South Carolina. You can see both right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Another pinch hitter here. Mia Marinakis fouls the first pitch back. Senior from Marietta, California. Fullerton transfer. 0 for 1 here in the Bash thus far. 1 for 6 on the young season. But as I mentioned, for Middle Tennessee, a weekend of close calls. The win over Evansville 4-2. They got walked off on a Bree Peck bottom of the 7th 2-run homer against Virginia Tech 3-2. Then lost to Alabama 8-0 in 5. Lost last night late to Evansville 2-1 in extras. But it's all about the learning experience for Coach Breeden's team as they progress in non-conference play and get ready for Conference USA.
Absolutely, and I think they're going to take so much great things from this weekend. Just playing at an atmosphere at Rhodes Stadium here, these fans are so fantastic, and they're bringing the energy early in February, prepping them through the rest of the season.
Sellout on Saturday for the Virginia Tech game, and most of those folks stayed for Middle Tennessee Part 1 against the Crimson Tide. Out to short, and that drops. Marinakis breaks up the no-hitter, and Middle Tennessee has a base runner here in the 6th.
As a pinch hitter, that's exactly what you're trying to do, is just get on base, especially as a leadoff hitter for the inning, getting her on base and doing her job and just bringing confidence into her next at-bat when she has the opportunity. Something coaches note is when a pinch hitter gets a hit, they know that they can go to that girl when they need her in a certain situation.
And that was the 9-hole. Marinakis hitting for Shelby Sargent. And now Sargent has re-entered to run over at first base. Back to the top, Amaya Harris. What a job by Mia Marinakis coming off the bench, breaking up the no-no. Harris 0 for 1, strikeout in the 1st, walked back in the 4th. Foul called. Rather, time called, 2-1. Bounce over 100 pitches here against the Blue Raiders. Has a ways to go to get to her career high. That's 150, but this is a season high for Fouts. And she's got another strikeout. That's number 13.
That's something we've mentioned all weekend is, you give up something and you come right back and you get the next outs, and that's exactly what Fouts did is, she gave up one hit, came back with a strikeout. That's establishing yourself on the mound and also trusting what your pitches and what you can do and always relying on that. As a pitcher, that's one of the most important keys to your pitching success is trusting those pitches.
That's out to right for Kelsey Hill. 2 hits in the inning for the Blue Raiders, 2 on with 2 out.
Coach Breeden talked about the resilience of this team and how they never give up and they're always fighting, and that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing these hitters come in, fight, and get this game some exciting things on their side of the field.
Strike one to Laura Mueller. Rally going for Middle Tennessee. Let's check in with Kira.
Yeah, down here in the dugout, they have this oar that they bring out when big things are happening. They do that because as a team, they read a book every summer. And this summer, it was a book called Row the Boat. It was written by John Gordon and PJ Fleck. And it's all about team unity and leadership. So they wrote words on this oar that are kind of their motto, their team goals. And they hold it up for big moments. It's something that they can rally around. It really brings them together in big moments in the game.
Thanks, Kira. Yeah, for the most part, Middle Tennessee had been up a creek without a paddle against Fouts, but a couple hits here in the 6th. A chance for Mueller, who is 0 for 2 with a couple Ks. The 1-2. Rise sails, 2-2. Officially 11,425 fans in attendance here this weekend at the Easton Bama Bash. What an atmosphere. Mueller out to left. On the run, diving catch not made by Grill. 1 run scores. And Middle Tennessee has something brewing. A run across here in the top of the 6th.
Does a great job keeping her hands inside the ball, lifting it up and over, putting it in such a tough spot for that left fielder to get that out. You see the aggressive base running there for Middle Tennessee State as well. Now we have 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs in the top of the 6th.
RBI double for Mueller. Tchaikovsky in to hit after striking out in the 2nd.
Definitely see Tchaikovsky staying aggressive in her at-bats. You feel the tempo right now with Middle Tennessee State. They have some momentum, and they're staying aggressive at the plate.
To 2nd, Lords got it. Inning over. But the Blue Raiders get 3 hits and a run on the board. Alabama will try and answer back off to the bottom of the 6th. Montana Fouts doing Montana Fouts things. 13 strikeouts for the All-American in the circle.
You see her really mix up her pitches. You see her getting some strikeouts on the low as well as the up pitches, mixing it up a lot today and just being really aggressive on the mound.
Middle Tennessee finally got to Fouts just a bit with 3 hits in the top of the 6th and a run across. But Fouts was machine-like in the first 5 innings. 1 K off of tying her season high. Her career high is 16. She's done that 3 times while here at Alabama. Now the Tide will look for a response from the top of the order. Starting off with Dallas Goodnight against Gretchen Mead, still pitching really well in relief for the Blue Raiders. Goodnight singled and scored back in the 1st. Grounded out in the 3rd, 1 for 2 day. One of those versatile players in this offense, can Bunt, slap, hit for power if she needs. Haven't really seen her swing away with much success very much thus far this weekend, but did have a home run out in Tucson to open the season. This will be a tough play. Mead to first, not in time. Dallas, good night aboard.
Good night, just relying on her speed and placing that slap perfectly down the line, making it tough for Mead to throw her out at first. Doing her job, getting on base as the leadoff hitter on the inning.
And you would think Goodnight will probably take off at some point in this AB. 5 for 5 in stolen bases this year. We'll see when that happens as Prangy steps in. There goes Goodnight. Easily safe, 6 for 6. Prangy 1 for 2, 2-run homer in the first. Walked and scored in the second, ground out in the third. Bunts that one foul. Yeah, Prangy opened the game with a bang. 2-run shot to start things off for the Tide.
Doing a great job, just extending on that pitch and going absolute yard down the left field line. Love to see the power from Prangy. Looking to see it a little again in this at-bat maybe.
He's got 3 home runs this year and 9 RBIs. Goodnight's got so much speed at second, it won't take much in the grass to plate another run for the Crimson Tide.
Although we love the long ball, I mean, Prangy's approach right now is just to move her runner over and get on base. Give Alabama a chance to come back and score another run and get that run back.
Yeah, we have often tracked the response stat for all these teams. Alabama 3 for 4 in that category. That means scoring right after the opponent when given the chance to do so. One, 2 from Mead. Outside.
Mead does a great job right now mixing in her off speed. That's a tough pitch to hit. Prangy does a good job fouling that off. As a hitter with 2 strikes, your goal is to foul off as many until you get something that you can drive, and that's exactly what Prangy is trying to do right now. Foul it off until that pitch comes in the zone where she's able to drive it and move her runner over, if not score her.
You could see the spin as that foul ball rolled across the dirt. Again, I have been very impressed with Gretchen Mead in the start against Alabama on Saturday and in relief here today. Skied on the left side. Mealer makes the catch. Oh, it got dicey, but Laura Mealer collects it for out number 1.
She does a great job holding on to that ball and making sure she gets that out for her pitcher. You can see right here, she calls her third baseman off, slips right out, catches it. Does a great job, great hands.
Almost an assist from herself off the shoulder for out number 1. And now Allie Shipman. Shipman 1 for 2, fly out in the first, had that 2 RBI single in the second, and a walk in the fourth. 15 runs batted in this season, 10 coming here in the Bama Bash, or I should say 9 coming here in the Bama Bash. A base hit here would make that 10 with Goodnight dancing around on second.
There's a ball on the field. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, looks like some action out in the Brickyard. Somebody threw it just a bit outside and onto the field.
Having a good time here at Rhodes Stadium all around.
Yeah, beautiful day, good crowd. Families, friends gathered around watching the last day of the Easton Bama Bash. There's the strike, 3-1.
You can tell Meade's approach right now has shifted a little bit more, going away from the curveball when she's behind. She's been coming back, trying to get that strike with that changeup. We saw her throw 3 in a row earlier in this game.
Goes off speed there, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell that that is definitely her go-to pitch right now, and something that the Alabama hitters are going to recognize and know that, hey, they need to be ready for that. They need to sit back, be a little bit more patient on that pitch.
Well, you talked about it. It comes in so slowly, 48 miles per hour. You have to supply your own power.
And the trick to hitting a changeup is just staying back, at least keeping your hands back. Even if your legs come forward a little bit, if you're able to keep your hands back, you're still able to supply your own power.
Shipman does so there, but foul. Outside, ball 4. What a weekend for Allie Shipman. Another walk, 2 on, 1 out. And now a meeting with Patrick Murphy. It appears as if Jordan Stevens, who came in to run for Lexi Kilfoyle earlier, will now bat. And with 2 on, Stevens, if she does bat, will represent the game-ending run. Stevens almost ended it herself on Saturday against the Blue Raiders. Had that double that hit just off the top of the wall. Had it left the yard, game would have ended. But a good chance here for the freshman from Tampa, Florida. Top 15 recruit in the 2021 class. One for 4 on the year, with those 2 RBIs driven in the game against the Blue Raiders yesterday.
As a pitcher right now, the debate is, do you throw to your strength the hitter's weakness or the situation. And right now, the situation is in favor of Alabama, right? There's runners on first and second, and with Meade throwing primarily outside, that's exactly what Stevens wants right now, is to go with that outside pitch and able to move her runners over. Or
pulls it left. Does it have enough?
up and over.
This time she does it. Jordan Stevens with a 3-run homer to send everybody home early. Alabama wins it 9-1 and 6.
Man, that was a beauty, up and over. She really supplied her own power on that outside pitch, taking it up and over left field. Stevens, what a great way to end the game and the series this weekend.
Jordan Stevens thought she had it on Saturday. It was a double off the wall. Today she does. A 3-run homer to finish off the Bama Bash in style. 3 runs in the inning.
You see Meade throw that pitch just over the plate a little too much. Stevens aggressive on that pitch, taking it up and over left field. You see the celebration with Shipman right there, saying, "Stay behind me." Fun energy all around.
An impressive showing from the 2nd-ranked team in the country. 2 hard-fought victories over a top 10 foe in Virginia Tech and 3 run rules elsewhere, twice against Middle Tennessee and once against Evansville. Alabama moves to 9-0 on the season. The Blue Raiders dropped to 2-9 on the 2022 campaign. And a lot of the action brought on by the impact transfers, including Ashley Prangy, the senior out of Indiana, formerly from Ohio State. Ashley, congratulations on the win and on a great weekend. We asked Coach Murphy about you and Allie Shipman's impact on the program coming in as transfers. What does this program mean to you in your first year in Tuscaloosa?
Oh gosh, I honestly can't even put into words how much this program already means to me. It's been a dream completely, and I honestly can't thank them enough for the opportunity and to be here with Allie. She was instantly my best friend, so it's really meant the world to me.
You do such a great job on that home run. What were you thinking going into that at-bat against Middle Tennessee State?
Honestly, I was just thinking just hit something hard. We had talked pregame about putting the ball in play and just making them make an error, make them make a mistake some way or another, and move runners. And so that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, find a good pitch and hit it hard.
You've also played spectacular defense, and it's got to be fun to play on the infield behind a pitching staff like this, and especially Montana Fouts. How much fun is it to back up a pitcher like Montana?
She's awesome. I can't say enough good things about her as a person on and off the field. She just really brings the fire, and she's a spark for all of us, and we all look up to her. She's inspiring.
Thank you, Ashley. Congratulations on a great weekend.
Thank you, guys.
That is Ashley Prangy after Alabama's 9-1 win over Middle Tennessee in 6 innings. For Kate Brooks, Kira Goldstein, and our entire crew, I'm Gray Robertson saying so long from Tuscaloosa, where our final score is Alabama 9, Middle Tennessee 1. Thank you so much for joining us all weekend long. It was a blast. This has been a presentation of the SEC ESPN Network. Have a great afternoon, everybody. We'll see you next time.